man? Welcome back to the show. This is Amateur Opinions. Brand new week, brand new show. I've got my man Ntsako back in the building.
Second round, round
Second
two.
round, yeah. Let's go.
This
is what's up, man. Last week we had a great episode. We spoke about your company, your security and technology movement that you've basically started.
Jonga.
Jonga. So I mean, we spoke a lot about the company, but we didn't talk about you. So, dude, like, what's up, man? Like, tell me about yourself.
Dude, first of all, let me just say, I'm just so happy to like make it back here. Like, I didn't suck that bad.
Yeah, it was great.
The
people have spoken.
Yeah, man. So no, thanks for having me back again.
You're welcome, man. Thanks for coming.
Excited to chat a little bit more about myself. Like you said, we spoke about the business.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So.
What are you about? What are you like? Yeah, what are you like? You know, what makes up Ntsako?
Ntsako. Okay, yeah, sure. So I'm very passionate about people. As you can see, Jonga is like a people-facing business. Yeah. We have a very keen interest for like justice as well. Social justice, leadership. Leadership is a big passion of mine. And yeah, when I was at varsity, I occupied like multiple leadership positions. Same in high school.
What kind of positions?
I've just always been that guy. Well, when I was in varsity, I stayed in Clarinas Village at UCT.
Me too. Yeah.
I know, I heard. Yeah. You were actually a legend when the time I arrived.
Thank you.
Exactly,
yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
I left some good stuff out there. But I heard you were a bigger legend when you left. So.
Yeah, so I was the head student of Clarinas.
Right.
Exactly, yeah. Right. So that was pretty cool.
What year were you in when you were a head student?
Was my second year.
Second year.
Yeah. So
Isn't it usually like third year?
Yeah,
like,
it was a good first year.
Damn. Okay,
it was a good first year.
Damn.
I'm a very social person, man. So whenever I enter into a new space, I always want to find out, who's here, what are they doing?
Yeah.
How can I help? How can that kind of thing? I'm a connector. So that really helped me when I got to UCT.
So I'm guessing you're quite popular then. Because it's a voting thing. You get voted.
It is a voting thing, but I mean, you have to give a good speech. You have to give a good speech.
True. You need to add some substance into
it. Exactly. You can't come through and like start lying to the house.
Yeah.
When they've lived with you the entire year, they'll be like, dude, that's not you.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that kind of shone through, that passion for people and leadership there. Amongst other kind of varsity like leadership positions that I held. I have very big passion for technology as well. Yeah. So that informed why I decided to study mechatronics, why I did the masters and what I did. Even like why I chose the subjects I chose in like high school.
What subjects did you choose?
So I chose what do they call it now? IT.
Okay.
IT. I did engineering, graphic design. I did science. So I've known from a very young age.
That's great.
Yeah. A fun fact, our house, we were actually the first household in our community to get a TV. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we had a TV like early days, maybe late 90s, early 2000s in our street. So people would always come to our house and watch the football at our house.
Yeah.
So I think that left a mark on me from a young age, seeing just how technology has this power to kind of bring people together. Exactly. Yeah, and then we were also the first people to get a telegame station.
Wow.
So I don't know what my dad was just, he saw the future, bro. He called it, man.
Yeah.
So that informed that passion. So I would say it's technology, it's people. I'm really keen on design as well. I love this like aesthetic stuff. So I do graphics and stuff like that on the side.
What kind of graphics?
Like illustrations.
Okay. For people or just for fun?
For people,
okay.
Started off for fun. It actually started off while I was doing VAC work. Okay. And I was just not interested in what I was doing. So I was like, maybe just rather design stuff on the side.
So what do you use to design?
Okay, well, I started off with paint, actually.
Okay.
So that's my little story. Like, I started off with paint.
Paint is powerful, dude.
Dude, paint is quite powerful, man.
Paint is underrated out there.
And then, like, so this part won't make sense. So I graduated from paint to Microsoft Word. I legit designed probably 20 logos for clients on Microsoft Word.
Damn.
I don't even know how I did that.
Yeah, I'm confused right now.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then I did a course. I think it was on like Lynda or Udemy or one of those courses, and taught myself how to do like proper graphics. I started doing logos and stuff for people on Illustrator, Adobe Illustrator. Yeah. So I'm still within the Adobe ecosystem.
Okay.
Yeah.
And can you do like moving like moving animated. Sorry, not moving.
Yeah,
animated logos.
Yeah, I can.
Can you hook me up, bro?
Yeah, man.
I need one for my podcast because
hook you
I've been kind of like procrastinating on it because on my YouTube videos.
Yeah.
I like the video just starts. Like I don't have like a little like
That little,
a 2 second load.
Yeah.
And then
Now, don't worry,
boom.
I'll make you look cool, man.
Hey, that's what's up. Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
I'll hit you up on that.
Where?
Okay, so graphics, so you like visual things.
Yeah.
And then on top of that you have the technological.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, because I mean there's a lot of designers out there, and then they have to interface with developers. And it's not always such a smooth thing. So I thought
it's really nice.
It would be quite powerful if I actually had both skills. So
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to go for. Yeah.
No, that makes sense. Absolutely. Yeah. Like I've dealt with like front end people.
Yeah.
Well, not even front end, like the designers.
The designers
and
themselves.
Then, like it's a bit rough because they'll tell you like we want this.
Yeah.
And then you're like, there's this like one particular little thing like that they want, and then you're spending like 2 days googling like how do I
do this?
Yeah, like is there a library for this? Like wow, like what's happening?
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
They're very specific about
Yeah,
their
very
designs,
specific. Oh man, yeah. So at least if you understand what other people will go through.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's actually the reason why, because I mean, in my business, you don't always have time to implement the thing yourself, but you want to at least be a part of that conversation.
Yeah.
So I wanted to like know what's happening on both sides. Like when I'm speaking to designers, like I want to understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
Right. And then when I'm speaking to developers, I want to be able to translate that as well.
Yeah.
So that's always been my motivation.
That's big because that actually avoids some frustrating conversations. And I had one just like a few days ago with the client. It was horrendous.
Yeah.
We're telling the guy like, dude, they were basically doing a disaster recovery drill, right? Because they're not on the cloud for some reason. They didn't want to go into the cloud.
Yeah.
So they're basically doing a disaster recovery drill where they act like all the servers are down, trying to boot up just something to get people to work.
Yeah.
Right. So now, so the deal we had was we do deal with the application layer. They deal with the server layer because they didn't want us to deal with it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're like, cool. So they do it, and then they couldn't get the website to come up.
Okay. Hectic.
So we're like, the application, sorry. And then we're like, so they call me. They're like, yo, it's not coming up. Can you help us? I'm like, okay, I'll help you. So anyway, but I couldn't access the servers because I didn't have the passwords. The actual disaster recovery network was on the intranet, so that didn't have internet access.
This guy sounds stubborn.
Dude, this is so annoying. And then so now I do a screen share. So I tell him like the commands to run. Like, okay, run this. So we end up discovering that Nginx, which is what makes the server communicate with the application. It connects the server to the application layer, basically. So that wasn't running. Yeah. So obviously it's not going to work, right? So we try to switch it on, didn't work. There were just issues. So now, but I can't update it because it doesn't have internet access. They just copied the files. So anyway, so that's not working. So the head of IT guy is like, yo, you need to give us instructions to make it work. This is your problem. Like, no, this is not our problem. The application is working fine. We tested the database. We tested everything.
Was good.
The back end is fine. Yeah. Everything's working. It's just
sounds like a you problem.
It's a you problem.
Yeah.
And the guy's like stubborn. Like, no, give us instructions. It should work. It should work. Because he didn't really understand what the hell was going on. So I totally understand what you're saying. With it's very important for you to understand. The issues because both sides ended up getting frustrated.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's a good move.
Oh, yeah, thanks,
basically.
Thanks.
Okay. Okay. So that's you. And in terms of leadership, right?
Yeah.
What have you found as a CEO?
Yeah.
Like, what kind of leadership skills do you need to have? Like, what's your let me not say that. What's your leadership philosophy? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a very good question, man. I think, first of all, I believe that people inherently have a lot of capacity, a lot more than they're aware of. So one thing I've realized is a good technique of bringing out the best in others is, first of all, identifying, making it clear to them that they have more capacity, and then encouraging them to explore that. So I'll never micromanage. I'm more of a motivator. I'll give you a really tough challenge, and add in an additional constraint, just for you to actually enjoy that excitement of reaching a new level that you didn't ever think. And that brings more confidence as well.
Absolutely.
So for us, we're building cool tech, But I always tell people when I'm like interviewing them, like, okay, I want you to build cool tech, but it must also be affordable. And that's the spanner in the works. It's like, okay, well, I've always, anyone can build it, like anything with a lot of resources, but with limited resources, that's a completely different ballgame.
It's a different ballgame.
Exactly. So that's what I always like put it to them as a challenge. And that's usually enough for people to be like, I think I want to work with this company because, it challenges me. So I really wholeheartedly believe in that, leading people and pointing them towards a challenge. And that usually is quite interesting. But beyond that, I think it's just my leadership philosophy is that people inherently have a lot of capacity. And if you can reveal that to them, they get really excited behind the task. And I think I'm also a visionary as well. So that's why...
That's very humble of you.
Look, you have to own it.
Yeah, of course.
That's what I realized.
That's what's up. Yeah, that's
another thing as well about like role models, for instance. People are like, you have to be intentional about the fact that I'm working to become a role model. Yeah. You can't be nonchalant and like playing it like low key all the time. You have to own it. So I'm
with you. So
visionary. I'm a visionary. So I've realized that I'm really good at pointing people in a direction and telling a story that's compelling. So that's what I focus on doing. And as much as I've got the technical skills, I don't want to always implement. Just because you can do everything yourself doesn't mean you should do it. Yeah. You know what I mean? But if you can, empower others to do it, and even if they don't do a great job, but you just like a congratulations or like a well done, it goes a long way. Goes a long way, man. Yeah. That person will become the kind of person that you need them to be. Yeah. That's what I found,
Yeah, and that's the thing with being a CEO, man. It's not just like... Well, I'm not a CEO, but I'm
you sounded like one.
I know. I realize I might just mislead people. I'm the CEO of this podcast. This is a marketing company, dude. I look at this as a marketing company.
Nice, man.
Because that's I have a product, and then
definitely.
That's what's up. But anyway, as a CEO, because I work for someone, and I see. I think being a CEO is actually not an easy job. And like you said in the previous episode, like the product is the easy part, and everything else is the hard part. Like you have to go get funding, you have to keep your team motivated. Like that's
the hardest part.
Yeah, like what do you do to keep people motivated? Because that's
so we're very lucky that we don't have a big team. But I mean, I've been in leadership situations where I was in charge of a lot of people, and it's. Like you rightfully said it's the hardest part is keeping people motivated. And it's this, I'm still trying to figure it out myself. How do you actually get the best out of people? So I'm very intentional to read books on leadership. In fact, I actually had a very transformational conversation with my brother, who out of the blue calls me to tell me that, dude, you're actually an incredible leader, but I want you to stop relying on that innate ability that you have and actually start to invest in it and read and listen to podcasts and stuff. So I spend a lot of time trying to figure out what brings out the best in people. And I think one of the things that I've seen brings out the best in people is not so much working on their competence, but working more on the character side of things. Because, a competent person without good character, you don't always have access to that competence. But, if you can actually invest in a person, care about that person, have conversations besides work, then that person opens up to you. Their character opens up to you. And then the competence also follows. So under the wrong leadership, you can have very talented people look very stupid. So it's all about making people who are not that competent yet feel as though they are, and then they become that. So I think that's what I've noticed. So that's
and I've experienced that firsthand. So when I joined this company, I was a junior, obviously coming straight from university. So I was working under the senior developer.
Cool.
So obviously, when you're starting a job, you don't know anything about it, right? So you're learning a lot. You're being told what to do and all that. But so this went on for. So but then the problem was they kept on treating me like a kid.
Yeah.
So then, like I started. So you then don't know what you're actually capable of. So for example, if I got a problem that I'm working on, like something that's not working, and then I fail. Like let's say I've tried twice or something. Sure. Then I run to the senior. I'm like, yo, dude, like I don't know how to do it. Like please help me. And then he helps me, and then we get it to work.
Yeah.
Right, but that actually wasn't helping me grow at all. Sure. Right, so. I found myself then like frustrated because I was like, am I good enough? Like what's happening, right?
Yeah.
So I then decided like, I think I need to leave
Yeah.
this company and then just throw myself in the deep end properly
Yeah.
because I don't get the tasks I'm being given are trivial tasks.
Yeah, absolutely.
The senior guy is the one getting the fun stuff where he's
Absolutely.
actually like cracking his head and all that.
Absolutely.
I'm just doing like creating automated tests
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
like adding doing configurations and just stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, I even handed in my resignation.
Yeah.
And then my boss calls me. He's like, "Yo, actually, the senior guy just handed in his resignation too,
Hectic.
and I actually want to
Want to
promote you." So I was like,
Hectic. Nice, man.
right. So I knew, and then I was thinking to myself, I was like, I know what this guy goes through and what he does,
Yeah.
and the pressure that comes with being senior.
Yeah.
I want that.
You want yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
I like that.
I was like,
yeah.
I want that. I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Let's do it. And then it's
Nice.
like, okay, I'll give you 3 months. We'll try it out, see how it goes, and then if you need help from him,
Yeah, that's cool.
you know, you just.
Are you enjoying the new salary?
Dude. Oh yeah. That was. And then I was like, dude, I'm gonna need you to like bump me up big time.
To do a nice thing.
And he was like,
yeah.
cool. So he bumped me up nicely, and then I started the job. So that was actually this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, beginning of this year.
Yeah,
That's when in January. That's when I started.
Shot.
And then, so I remember, man, the first couple of months I was dying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then I could feel the growth finally that I was, and then just the trust that had been like put upon me.
Yeah.
Just unlocked a new like wave, and even and then I also I managed to actually push myself because I remember, like there was still like a certain amount of doubt that they had. Right, and then I was like, you know what, like I can't expect respect or trust to be just given to me.
Exactly.
I want to earn it.
Definitely.
Okay, so I pushed myself, and then I was like, okay, they're like, look, they said like something was wrong. They're like, if you fail, Rashad was the senior guy. He's like he said you can call him, and cool. I was like, I ain't gonna call him.
I'm gonna
figure this. I'm gonna figure this out. So like I remember I cracked, and then I got it right.
Yeah.
Right. Then I was like, oh, so I can actually do this.
Yeah, man.
So from then on, I just pushed on.
You know, as a CEO, it's super important that you don't rob people of those moments.
Yeah.
Of them actually impressing themselves.
Mm.
Definitely. Like I will let you go through the motions and you know crack your head at it but when you actually get to the end, you know what I mean? That feeling is incredible.
And it's valuable too, because it then tells you that you're actually good enough. You can do it. You can do literally anything. I don't like saying you can do anything because I can't be a surgeon, but I mean you can do anything within reasonable.
Within reasonable bounds.
Yeah, exactly. Reasonable bounds. So I mean this year has been amazing.
That's cool.
Like my confidence has shot up the roof. If I compare myself this time last year, the growth has been immense compared to the previous 3 years that I was working as a junior.
I had a conversation with you last year. Not too impressed. No, I'm joking. but the growth is there.
Yeah.
I can also see it.
Yeah.
You're so right.
Yeah.
You're so right. In fact, I often tell people, like, look, whenever you're in a situation where you feel like your skills aren't trusted, you're being doubted, double down on backing yourself.
Yeah.
Just, do that. It's counterintuitive. Because people aren't trusting you, usually you'll fall back into your own corner.
You're like, fair enough.
But double down on backing yourself and go for it even more.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's just the way to go. You get to those moments where it's like breakthrough moments. And you realize I actually have capacity.
Yeah, and funny enough, just a few weeks ago, we had a big issue with one of our clients where something wasn't working. Right, we couldn't figure out. Well, actually, it wasn't that something wasn't okay. Yeah, something like the reporting function broke, and then we couldn't figure out why it broke because it just didn't make sense. Like there's a few entries in the database that had been added by a guy who was his permissions onto the software was so minimal that it was literally impossible for him to add those. Yeah. Or at least we thought. So I figured out. Not luckily, I worked and then found those two entries, deleted them, and then the system started working. Dope. But that was just half the problem because we had to figure out how those two entries actually got into the database to begin with. So started cracking my head. So I couldn't figure it out. So I called the guy who used to be senior developer. I was like, yo, dude, like I'm struggling. Can we just like have a call just so that, maybe I get a fresh, just fresh ideas and like what to look for. So we're on the call, and then we're going to the software. We're just looking at the buttons this guy has access to, just what to click on. So I noticed just like a random button. I was like, look, dude, let's click on that, see what happens. Then we click on it, and then all of a sudden the page becomes like an inline editor where you can actually edit like the process and all that. We're like, whoa, right? So
it's a nuclear button.
Yeah, basically. And then not supposed to have access to that, definitely. So anyway, so we found that. And then like a few months before that, we had another issue where we were basically like trying to fix some stuff. Anyway, but the moral of the story is, so I had dinner with him, the guy who used to be my senior. And then he was like, dude, like, because he was asking me like, how are you finding being the senior? So I was like, dude, like I'm loving it, and I've grown so much. He's like, dude, I'm not gonna lie to you, like you're now like 100 times more mature in how you're approaching it. And because I remember because man, I used to be spoon fed, dude. Like it was quite bad. And so he was like, there's this time where I asked you if you'd done it, and you're like, yeah, I actually did it. I'm done. Like, because usually that's what he used to do. He'd have to keep tabs on me, like, have you done this? Have you done that? And so he was like, I've actually noticed like your growth and how
that's awesome, man.
How you've like you're more mature, you're getting like stuff done, but on your own, you're not being pushed.
That's cool.
And then I actually realized, like, damn, actually that's actually true. And so so what you're saying, the whole like letting people struggle, fail, because failing, man, that's the only way to learn. That's the only way it works, man.
I mean, look, if you look at a baby trying to learn how to walk, you don't start taking their feet and like making it seem like they can walk, right? You let them fall down and let them go through that process, and they eventually start walking. They
fall, they crawl.
Exactly.
They're like, okay, I can't walk right now. Let me crawl. Gain this, get stronger.
It really is that process, man.
Damn, exactly. Great analogy. So yeah, man. So I think you. That you've already, because you've done a lot of leadership roles, I'm guessing that you learned quite a lot from there, and that'll prove valuable in your journey as a CEO.
Definitely. I think another thing that's important about leadership is just realizing that yes, there are people beneath you, but equally important are the people above you, and that's surrounding yourself with good mentors, good counselors. So from a business perspective, I've been very lucky because we've got great investors. These are guys who were first mentors. I approached them to just kind of give me insights, perspectives, help me see the blind spots. And that's helped me grow in crazy ways. But I think in every other part of my life as well, I've always kept mentors that helped me, just see things that just purely because of a lack of experience, I wouldn't be able to see. So it's always important to have people, yes, beneath you that you're actively like investing in and sowing into their lives, but also having somebody speaking into your life and constantly helping you.
And you called it luck. I don't even call that luck. You know what I mean? Because you actually went out to it didn't just magically happen, right? So that's something I don't necessarily do. So and you saying that is actually I've actually like, okay, maybe that's like it's not a bad.
Man, be a person in life who pursues.
Right.
Like I call it autopilot. That's the opposite of like being somebody who's intentional. You're kind of doing life in like autopilot, and it's a comfort zone. So for me, whenever I see someone who has something that I like about them, maybe it's the way that they balance their work and life. Maybe it's the family, like their family man. So things like that. When I like it, I go straight for you, man, and I'll come through and I'll call you out for coffee and I'll be like, let's chat. I see that this is the way you're running your life and it looks good, man. Like, how do I start to work towards that? So yeah, I think one of the key ways I'd describe myself is somebody who's very intentional.
That's dope. And you see, like this podcast, for example, like I've actually met some very interesting people, including you, obviously. And had I've had great conversations, and I've learned so much, because how I actually got into podcasting was I was listening to. I've always wanted to be a person who reads a lot. Just never got into it.
Me too, man.
You know what I mean?
People always assume I read a lot.
I thought you did.
I'm getting into it more now.
Okay.
Yeah, getting into more now.
So I was like, okay, because my dad has always been on, because my dad reads a lot.
Yeah.
He's like, Glenn, read. So there's a time I used to read, and then I got out of it.
Yeah.
But getting back into it is rough.
It's hard,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. So I was like, okay, what do I do most of the time?
Yeah.
Like when I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
So let's listen to music. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, that's cool, but maybe let me try get some educational type of stuff
content.
into my ears. So I started listening to podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite podcast is the Joe Rogan podcast. I don't know if you know it, the Joe Rogan Experience.
No, I don't.
So basically, it's the biggest podcast in the world.
Really?
Essentially. Yeah, it's the biggest platform.
Hectic.
So Joe Rogan basically gets kind of like what I'm doing right now, where I get someone, whether it's a stranger or one of his friends, but because his is such a big platform now, he gets leading. Like he gets people like Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders, Elon Musk, Jack Dorsey from Twitter.
Yeah.
Just big guys. Also, like just a mathematician.
Dope. So it's also very diverse.
Extremely diverse,
Nice,
from
nice.
sports to science to politics,
That's
everything. Basically everything. And he always says in his podcast, he's like, dude, I've learned so much
Just from those conversations.
Yeah. And then in turn, people have learned so much. Like I've learned a lot from just listening to podcasts. I can tell you from the time I started listening to podcasts in general to now, there's like the stuff I would not know.
Yeah, man.
Like literally.
I'm a big fan of podcasts as well. I like to listen to the Masters of Scale. I don't know if you know the Masters of Scale.
Who's the host?
It's Reid Hoffman, founder of LinkedIn.
Right.
So he's also an investor, and he's a very authoritative voice in the entrepreneurial landscape in Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
So I think if anyone wants to start a business, Masters of Scale, that's your podcast.
Okay.
So he calls in the likes of your Mark Zuckerberg, Brian Chesky, all these guys, Airbnb, Facebook, all these big businesses, and he has conversations about scaling your business. So it's very, very nice. I like to listen to leadership podcasts as well. Big fan of those. Also Christian podcasts. I really like those as well. Always want to surround myself with Christian content. Those are the three major ones.
Yeah, exactly. And you learn so much.
Dude, it's incredible.
It's like crazy. And it's for free.
Man, it's too good to be true.
Dude, podcasting is crazy, man. Like because I remember I tell people, like, listen to my podcast. Like, how much is it? You know, people think you have to, it's like music where you have to pay to listen. But nah, man, like there's so much out there for you to just like tap into and learn. And so, I mean, so this guy, Joe Rogan, that's what he does.
Thanks for putting me on, man. I'll check him out.
Yeah, you should, for sure. Because he sometimes like 3 episodes a week. I mean, he works hard.
So that's his full-time grind.
Actually, so this guy, he started off as the host for X Factor.
Okay.
And you know UFC, the fighting promotion.
Yeah.
MMA. He's the main announcer of fights. Yeah. Cool. So he's the guy who will interview the guy on the podium and all that. So he's always been in that space.
Cool.
Then he started the podcast. And how he started it, he just with his friend, just got a microphone, a camera.
Just started talking. That was it, man.
That was it. And the rest is history. He's been at it for about maybe 6 years.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And it's grown. So it's the biggest platform now. So yeah, dude, like he's learned so much. I've learned so much from this podcast. Yeah. So I'm now trying to also talk to people where I then learn and my listeners in turn learn. And I've gotten so many, some feedback is actually touching. I remember I had an episode on relationships. Don't quite remember what exactly we were talking about, but a friend of mine called. He listened to it with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Right. And then his girlfriend. And then he actually ended up apologizing to his girlfriend. He's like, "Yo,"
based on the lesson.
Yeah, on the thing. And then his girlfriend was crying. He's like, "Yo, like that's what I've always been trying to tell you." It was something about listening or something. I don't remember exactly what it was. She was crying. She's like, "That's what I've been trying to like tell you all this time." And he's like, "Yeah, man. Dude, like I didn't realize."
Yeah.
So
changing the world one couple at a time.
Dude. You know. And I remember that episode we were just clowning. You know what I mean? Man. Just having fun, just talking about like different experiences we've had and how to better yourself in situations like that. The guy DMs me, man. He's like, "Yo, dude, like thank you for that because it potentially saved my relationship." I was like, "Damn." You know what I mean? So that
not all heroes wear capes.
Hey man, you know what I mean? So that was a great thing. So So that even though, and it's not about like, look, I don't have thousands of people listening. Right? Don't get me wrong, but yet, absolutely, yeah, we're growing. But those few
Yeah.
that do listen, like, I do it for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's cool, man.
That's what's up. It's not about the numbers. It's about the impact.
I love that.
Yeah. So that's what's up, man.
I love that, man. I think what you're saying is so spot on. That's really my mindset as well. Is that, you know, I may not have the largest sphere of influence yet, but how do I add value to the people who are my listeners now, or my followers now, or people who are just watching the journey? So I think that's super awesome what you're saying. It resonates with me.
And I love like the posts you make on Instagram or Facebook or something. You know, so you can feel the authenticity sometimes where you then like, man, this is what's up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's part of the reason why I actually called you up.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. But I think that's it, man. Thanks for joining me again.
Cool, man.
It's a dope episode. Great to know you like more in depth.
Yeah.
Clarence brothers.
The village.
Different generations, but still brothers.
Yeah.
So yeah, any socials you want to plug, social media accounts, anything?
Yeah, you can check out my personal socials this time. Ntsako Mgiba.
How do you spell it?
So it's NTSAKO, and then my surname is MGIBA.
Ntsako Mgiba.
Yeah, that's it.
That's what's up. All right. So check him out. That's your Instagram.
My Instagram is MGIBN95.
95. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So check out his socials. Give him a follow. Check out what he's doing. He's doing great things in the technological and social. No, social.
Social.
Yeah, social and security.
And
space.
security.
Yeah.
There you go.
So yeah, check him out. Good dude. And obviously for us, just like, subscribe, and just check us out. You know, share. If you just give us feedback, give us 5-star rating on iTunes, please. It's been a while since I've asked people to do that. At first, I was getting so many like 5 stars, and got 1 4-star from some hater. Gave me 4 stars, but at least that made it more realistic. It was like 4.8 stars.
Yeah, come on,
you know
man.
what I mean?
It can't be a
perfect rating.
episode.
Yeah, you can't have that.
I'm not that interested.
Exactly.
Cool, man.
All right. So as far as this episode is concerned, this is it. So I am with your opinions. You can take it or leave it. Peace out.